Hi, I'm Judd with Phoenix Resin. We're resin crafting and wood turning hobbyists since 2019, and just as we've learned a lot about our hobby from the crafting community online, we'd like to share some of the tips and tricks that we've discovered to help others out as well. Today, we'll be talking about how to use a pressure pot for resin casting using a standard tire inflator instead of an air compressor.
All right, so we're going to look at how to get this guy connected up to a standard tire inflator. Again, you certainly are welcome to use an air compressor. A lot of people do, and that seems to be the accepted way of how to fill up a pressure pot, especially the larger ones. They're fast and efficient. But again, not everybody has an air compressor. Not everybody wants to buy an air compressor. And especially for people who are only resin hobbyists, getting an air compressor is a significant investment that takes up a lot of room, and maybe you don't have those funds, the room, or just the comfort level with a full air compressor. If that's the case, you can use something much smaller and easier to use, like a air inflator. This one is just a small guy from Black & Decker. As you can see, he's just uses a 20-volt battery pack. A lot of hardware brands have very similar models. Craftsman, Ryobi, they all have these kind of little compact guys that run on the battery packs. But you can also use an air compressor that plugs into a regular outlet. Key is that they all have these standard inflator valves that normally you would use to go ahead and inflate your tires or an air mattress with. Of course, you notice that that doesn't really fit on here very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually build a converter or an adapter so that we can take the air that is coming out of this at pressured velocity and put it into here without losing any of that pressure. And we just need two pieces to do that with. The first piece is going to be your standard quick connect adapter. These guys are sold wherever air compressor or air tool equipment is sold. Probably be able to buy it at the same place that you bought your NPT plug. And this is going to be a female NPT quick connect adapter. These are the guys you pull back on here and you put it on the plug, and it makes that seal so that you don't lose any air, and then you just pull back on it to pull back off again. So the key is going to be taking this quick connect adapter, and now we got to figure out how we're going to get that attached to this guy. And that is going to require a hose Barb to NPT adapter.
We already have one of these attached to the quick connector.
I just didn't want to buy another hose Barb adapter. They only cost about $4, but we already had this one set up for our Harbor Freight pressure pot, and we're not really going to need to run two of them at the same time. But as you can see, it has the quick connect adapter part at the end here. And your hose Barb adapter, this is going to be a 1/4 inch NPT male to a 1/4 inch hose Barb. And the hose Barb has this little segmented piece. It looks kind of like a caterpillar, I guess, without legs or a little worm. And this is actually the key part that makes that adapter possible. You're going to take your inflator end. You're going to have your switch to the unfastened position, and then you're going to put that hose Barb right inside your inflator here. It fits just perfectly if you got the 1/4 inch. And then you go ahead and pull that closed. Now that's sealed in there tight. You've actually got an airtight seal there. You'll take that 1/4 male inch or the 1/4 inch male NPT adapter. You'll put that plumber's tape on there, and then put the quick connect adapter on the end of it. And then you have your air inflator adapter to use with your pressure pot. And it's really convenient because, again, you don't need to expend the funds for a full air compressor. You don't need to worry about having a space for an air compressor. It's not as noisy as an air compressor. I mean, you're still compressing air, so there's going to be some volume to it, but it's not nearly as loud as a standard air compressor, even just a little sausage air compressor or pancake air compressor or whatever type of air compressor is named after breakfast food. And as you can see, I mean, this takes up so much less room than a standard air compressor. It's a lot easier to handle, a lot easier to store. It's cheaper. The only drawback is, especially as you get into the larger pressure pots, it will take a little bit more time to fill up than an air compressor will. So, for your 2.5 gallon compressors, the Harbor Freight, it's not a significant time. It takes about maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get that up to about 40 to 50 psi, which really you only need to get up to about 45 psi at most. If you're doing that level of psi with this 5 gallon, that's going to take closer to 10 to 15 minutes. So it's going to be about twice as long because it's twice as much volume as it's got to fill. With most resin pot times, that's not going to be an issue. It's just a matter of how long you want to wait until your pressure pot is up to its max pressure. For us, we don't really want to worry about having to fit our air compressor in our hobby studio. Don't want to lug it back and forth from the workshop to the hobby studio. It really works a lot better to have the smaller air compressor, which again, so much more portable and easier to use than a standard air compressor. So again, that's just your standard quick connect and a 1/4 inch hose barb to 1/4 inch male NPT adapter, and that goes right on to pretty much any standard tire or mattress inflator attachment. So it doesn't have to be a cordless battery operated guy. It can be a standard battery guy. Heck, if you're really feeling ambitious, you can even use a foot pump with that, but you'll probably be there all day trying to get your pressure pot up to 40 psi using a foot pump. But more power to you if you want to do that.